And it was a Liga a few days ago, and we're going again. I cannot wait. We've not even finished last week's card, but we've got some unbelievable ties. We're going to have Paco from La Liga Lowdown and Martin Green with me in a minute. But if you like this video, then please subscribe, press the button and ring the bell. You ring the bell means that we can notify you and you'll not miss any content ever again. And remember, it's La Liga, it's Bundesliga, Serie A and Premier League, just on the soccer side of things. And we have many other sports as well. Remember, you're also going to be our third guest. So give us your leans, your tips, your bad beats, and any questions you want. I won't reply to them, but I will throw them out there. And remember, we start the 6-match parlay. We're still going strong in the parlay that we did Monday, I think it was. But we're going to start a fresh one today, and we will take 2 selections from La Liga, and then 2 from Premier League, and 2 from Serie A tomorrow. So we're still live on the old 6-match parlay. But anyway, Paco, Pellegrini goes to Betis. I think he'll do the world of good to them.
Yeah, because I think they needed such a manager to try to turn things around next season. Last year, Real Betis made an incredible investment in signing big players. For example, Fekir comes to mind. But I think their next big thing is going to be the coach. And they're going to spend quite a lot of cash in Pellegrini, who was made official earlier today, and who is going to try to make Real Betis great again. As you know, their season has been not really that successful. Actually, they failed into their main goal of getting into the European spots. So let's see if he's lucky with that next year.
Martin, just going on what we've seen over the last few days is like both teams are not scoring. Barcelona limp over the line 1-0. Atletico Madrid, they were very unlucky. I mean, the goal that Celta scored, he's just tried to hook that on and it goes into the top corner. But I'm starting to see a little fatigue, and I'm starting to see teams that are not really 100% of their go get the 3 points.
Yeah, there's a lot of weary legs. I do still think it's the teams with the smaller squads that are struggling in that department. I think maybe nerves are creeping in for some of the bigger teams like Barcelona. I obviously thought they would blow Espanyol away in that game, but they clung on for a very narrow victory in the end. And I think they're just getting so close now. They're just so nervous about dropping points that perhaps they were playing with a bit more caution than what you'd normally see. I agree that I wouldn't really hold it against Atletico Madrid. They've been very good since the restart. They were very unfortunate there, despite having a couple of players out. I think they can bounce back with another win next time out. But yeah, it's another good result for Celta Vigo. Very inconsistent side, but yeah, I think they could have a strong finish to the season now.
Yeah, I mean, I would be very cautious, and I think it's my job to tell people that overs, maybe the odd 2-1, but there's not going to be your 3 and 4 1s and 4 0s. So maybe we try and select the winner and go under 3.5 goals. Or listen, I just see that teams now are just trying to limp over the line, Paco.
Yeah, I think that with only 3 games remaining, most of them are just wishing that the season is over. Because in some cases, for example, everything is over for them. We talked earlier about Real Betis, all those teams in mid-table with really nothing on the line. And at the same time, those teams bottom of the league don't really have those many chances. Espanyol are already a Segunda División team. Let's see what happens with Mallorca. Let's see what happens with Leganes. But you are facing possibly the last 3 games with no real incentive for all of those teams. Whereas, for example, Real Madrid and Barca, they really do have an incentive because they want to win absolutely everything. So in that sense, they might even increase the differences between the big teams and the smaller ones.
Yeah, Martin, just before we start with these games, I look at some of these sides, and I've seen it from my own personal experience, is that when your team's going down, or they're close to going down, or they're already relegated, some individuals start to shine because they feel as if this is a shop window. I don't want to go down. I've done my job. Let me try and catch the eye of someone else.
Yeah, we've seen it time and time again, haven't we? We saw it with Fulham in the Premier League last season. They got relegated and then suddenly they remembered how to play and started beating teams, and a few of them did earn transfers. So yeah, maybe you might want to be a little bit wary about Espanyol, whose relegation has been confirmed, and they do, we know, have some good individual players still on their books. So yeah, maybe tread a little bit cautiously around them. But yeah, there's a couple of teams that are hovering just above the relegation zone that I fancy to pick up enough points now in this next game week to secure their safety.
Okay, well, let's just say good morning to, it is good morning in Costa Rica. I think it's just coming up to lunch. No, what time is it in Eastern? So it's still morning in United States as well. So anyway, morning, Nick, Harry, Dina. Nixon Talisman says, hi guys, it's a great show. I'm new to soccer. Enjoy it. Absolutely. And we will cover nearly every single angle, but let's crack on. We're going to go with Osasuna at plus 176, draw at 210, and Celta Vigo at plus 280, Paco.
Well, I think both teams have already done most of their job. For example, in Celta's case, with 36 points, they only need like one single win to be clear from danger. Because Mallorca are right now 7 points away, only 3 games remaining. So I don't think it will be mathematical when the time comes around. But Celta have the job done already. And Osasuna are mid-table, 45 points. They have been suffering lately because, it's very tough, as you already know, because you were a player, to keep that level of motivation whenever you are mid-table and there's nothing really which propels you forward. So in this case, I think Osasuna have been so good throughout the whole season at home that maybe goals is not something which is really in my book in this one. I think that defending is pretty solid for Osasuna. Celta, lack of motivation, so maybe a draw or even a home win, a very narrow one, is the way to go.
Yeah, I've pressed unders, Martin. I just thought unders was the way to go here. I think that both will go through the motions. It could even be 0-0, maybe 1-1.
Yeah, it looks interesting. Maybe Osasuna run out of steam a little bit. They've been excellent since the restart, put a few very strong results together, assured of mid-table now, pretty comfortable for them. But I do think Celta Vigo still need to pick up a few more points just to guarantee that safety. They're not home and dry yet. So while they are an inconsistent team, I do think that they can get a result in this one. They have impressed me fair bit in recent weeks. So, yeah, I think against the team that just lost 3-0 to Betis, they might have their heads down a bit, Osasuna. I think we could see Celta Vigo getting a result for me in this one. So, yeah, I'm going to go for Celta Vigo draw no bet at 1.87.
1.87 for the away side, not to get beat. If they win, obviously you pick up. If they draw, then you don't lose either. So Martin doing his normal, I will cover every base. Valladolid at plus 1,000, draw plus 420, and Barcelona at minus 300, Paco. Is it just a straight Barcelona win, but where do we find the value?
I saw Barca quite tired against Espanyol. That narrow win we talked earlier before with that Luis Suarez strike, it was a 1-0, very, very close game overall. So Barca going through the motions, they need to win. They're going to absolutely do their best because they don't really want to hand over the championship to Real Madrid. Whereas Valladolid, I was very surprised with them, with the way they played against Valencia. Very, very tight at the back, very secure defensive side. Great job, by the way, by Sergio González. And I think they should have won against Valencia, by the way. Valencia only had a couple of, big chances in order to turn around the game and win it. So Barca win, maybe the value is in the tight overall scoreboard, because I don't really see Barca with fresh legs and that kind of, easiness into scoring.
Okay, just to let Selector know, said, did you already do the Eibar Leganes game? Yes, that was on Monday. So basically, we're starting off on the Osasuna Celta game. Will be our first game that we're going to cover. But Eibar was on the other video. Ayub says, do you guys do this full time? We do it full time. I did over 46 videos last month, and these boys in front of you, they hold my hand every step of the way. Martin, Barcelona and under 3.5 looks like the way to go.
Yeah, it does. It does. They had a bit of a limp performance last time out, but they got the job done. That was the main thing. They're still clinging on to Real Madrid's coattails, and they're prepared to capitalise on any potential slip-ups that Real Madrid might make between now and the end of the season. Very underwhelmed by their general performance levels, though. This isn't the Barcelona that we've grown to know and love in recent years. They lack a bit of flair. They lack spark in midfield. I think they need to be busy in the transfer window in the summer if they're going to close the gap on some of Europe's top teams. But yeah, I do still fancy them to get the job done in this one. Valladolid are a very solid side. They defend well. They're organised. They're pretty disciplined. can't see it being a high-scoring game, to be honest. You never quite know with Barcelona, just due to the wealth of attacking talent at their disposal. But yeah, I do think this will be an unders game. I wrote down Barcelona and under 4.5 goals, which is I think 1.67 or something, 1.67. Yeah, but yeah, do go for Barcelona under 3.5 goals if you want that bit more value.
Yeah, Barca man's joined us. Morning, Barca. He says Barca win and both teams to score that 3.15. That brings in the 2-1 and 3-1. So that means you're only going to be safe with the under 4.5. But listen, Barcelona needs some drive in midfield. They need some creativity for me. I think they've just got too many luxury players that need to fit in around Messi. And obviously Messi, there's rumours going around that he's not going to be at Barcelona much longer, maybe in one more season. Now moving on, Atletico minus 205, the draw plus 340. Now Real Betis plus 700. Atletico wins to 0, Paco, just boom.
Yeah, I think this one is pretty clear because Real Betis have plunged in the last couple of games with no real aim, impossibility to really latch onto that European spot race. So Atletico have this one. I've seen them very in form after the break, and especially with easiness to score. That was very surprising. A few games ago with Morata being quite active on front, and overall, that quality, that easiness in order to score, I think is going to be very positive for the last 3 games remaining. Because remember, one win against Betis would be like securing the Champions League spot overall. So I think they're going to try to get the job done as quick as possible. And Real Betis are going to have a very rough time in El Metropolitan, in Wanda Metropolitano Stadium.
Yeah, someone makes a really good good point in the chat, and I think it's Dina saying this could be a trap because obviously Betis, they might just bounce having Pellegrini coming in. Not so sure. I think the job's been done for them, and it'll be Atletico win to 0, Martin. That's something I always hear from you.
Yeah, Atletico win to 0, classic bet. I'm just actually trying to find the odds on it while we're talking. I think you can get about 2.15 on Atletico win to 0 in this game, which looks good. I think some of the books haven't quite published their lines on that one yet, but does look appealing. It's a little bit risky with with Real Betis because they do have some very good forwards, and they did just win 3-0. They've got Manuel Pellegrini in now, who, as we know, is a very, very attacking coach. I think it's a good move for him. He struggled at West Ham, but he was great for Villarreal back in the day, and it'll be good for him to return to Spain and see what he can do there. Yeah, I do think Atletico Madrid will win this game. I'm not convinced that they'll keep a clean sheet, but I'm going to go for Atletico to win and the over 1.5 goals. 1.8 you can get on that. If Sevilla win tonight, then they'll move level on points with them. Yeah. So Atletico still need to keep picking up points to wrap up that 3rd place, and I think they'll get the job done.
Paco, are we looking at João Felix and Diego Costa coming back for this game?
Yeah, well, João Felix seemed to have some physical problems in the last game. Let's see if he's finally available or not. But anyway, one of the advantages that Atletico has over some of the opposition is just the amount of big quality players they have to play in front. Correa is one of the alternatives. Morata, I already talked about him. He missed a penalty. VAR ruled it back. He later scored, and he looked pretty good, in the last couple of matches. So at the end of the day, if Joao isn't able to play, Simeone has plenty of firepower at his disposal.
Okay, yeah, and if he doesn't like using it, though, it's almost like he gets charged or he loses some of his wages if they entertain or score too many. But let's move on. Espanyol at plus 196, draw plus 229, and Eibar at plus 168. Obviously, Eibar is one of our 6-match parlay selections from last week. And now they're going to be at Espanyol, who are down, and you should have seen their faces. They were so gutted, they were so surprised. Pull your finger out, produce better, and you wouldn't have gone down, Paco.
Yeah, well, Espanyol, it was a doomed project since the get-go this season. They made a big investment. They also sold big players. Remember, Borja Iglesias, for example, last season, he was a very informed striker and he left for Real Betis. And also remember Rubi, who also left for Real Betis, and he didn't succeed over there. He was sacked. So Espanyol tried to rebuild itself. It was a crucial season for them. They played in Europe. They played the Europa League. And they weren't able to finally put the pieces together. And they did poorly in La Liga. In Europe, they were a bit better, but still, La Liga is the real big competition. And they lost and lost again. They plunged very early in the season, and it wasn't possible for them. So in this case, against Eibar, we must remember that Eibar aren't yet safe from a potential relegation. They need to win, and they will be pretty desperate to get it as soon as possible. Whereas Espanyol, they have nothing to do. As you said earlier, Flash, in this place and in these games, they usually want to get some sort of vindication. Some players really want to do their best, but I don't see them doing that against one Eibar. That I can't stress this enough. They will be very desperate for the 3 points.
I mean, it looks like maybe Eibar draw no bet, Martin. Remember Eibar, they're playing Leganes tonight, and we've got Eibar, I think, draw no bet at like 1.8. So come on, Eibar, get the win, and then we'll only have like 1 or 2 legs to go, and we'll get the 6-match parlay in.
Yeah, that was very much my shout in for the Eibar game that's taking place tonight. Bit difficult to look at this one until we know what's going to happen in that one. You never know. Players could get injured or suspended. But as things stand right now, yeah, I think Eibar have to be the team to back in this game. Like Paco said, they're still not assured of their survival. They still need to keep picking up points to put a bit of a cushion between them and the relegation zone. I think they should be able to get the job done against Espanyol. I think Espanyol put a lot of effort into that game against Barcelona. It was only a narrow defeat in the end, but they expended a lot of energy, and I think they might be a bit deflated by the nature of their defeat. So even though Eibar will have had 1 day less to prepare, I still think they could come into this game with a bit more verve and energy. Yeah, I do fancy them to get the job done. We know they obviously lost Borja Iglesias in the summer, Espanyol. They lost Mario Hermoso as well. Their 2 best players didn't replace them with sufficient quality. So it's only understandable, really, that they're going straight back down to the second division. I think got to go again, really. Eibar draw no bet, 1.68 you can get, something like that. If you're feeling a bit more bold, though, just go for a straight Eibar win.
Yeah, I mean, Espanyol lost 1-0 to Madrid, 1-0 to Barcelona, and you think to yourself, okay, well, if you set out your stall and you have that mentality, then you're going to go and pick up your points at home. And then last week I said, Espanyol, they must win today. And they get beat 1-0 at home against Leganes. It's like, come on now, you needed to produce, you haven't. So I think they'll be feeling sorry for themselves. But it's a game I'll leave because I want Eibar tonight. Now Levante at plus 260, draw plus 237, and Bilbao at plus 128. I like Bilbao, Paco.
This is a tricky one, because Levante are playing at home at La Nucía, which isn't their real home ground. It has been after the break, and they haven't lost there. They lost against Atletico, and that's it. Atletico de Madrid, and that's it because, it's Atletico de Madrid after all. But whenever there has been a very tight game, Levante have always managed to hold their ground. And plenty of draws for them. I think it's the most drawing team after the break. And they face Athletic Club, who has found very easy to pocket some wins after the break, for example, against Valencia at Mestalla, 2-0. So I think Martin is, many people don't really have the things clear towards this particular game because anything can happen. They are more or less in the same stages in the standings. They're in the same positions. Remember, Athletic Club, they are now 9th. They are 3 points away from European spots. But Levante aren't really that far with 43 points. They are 8 points away. So still alive for them. Levante might have no chance after this match day, but at this point, they both have some kind of incentive towards trying to win the game. So we can expect openness, attractive play style, and possibly some few goals.
Martin, I like it. Both teams to score. Levante very rarely don't put their best foot forward, and Bilbao, they have a togetherness and an energy about them that if they had that prior to the break, they would be right up there for me.
Yeah, I think that looks good, Flash. Levante seem to be a lot more adventurous when they're playing at home. They keep things a lot tighter, it seems, when they're on the road. But they put a few more men forward and take more risks when they're playing at home. So yeah, I think we could be in for an entertaining game in this one. It's a very difficult one from a betting perspective because both of these teams are very, very difficult to beat. As Paco said, only Atletico Madrid have beaten Levante, and only Barcelona and Real Madrid have beaten Athletic Bilbao. So they're only losing to the top three teams, which suggests that they've got real deep reserves of resilience. So I think they could cancel each other out in this one. I'd be leaning towards the draw there at plus 237, which does look like an attractive set of odds. But I like your both teams to score bet too.
Yeah, 1.8 to Fosi saying, Jack Pancake saying over 2.5, and Suresh Kumar, welcome. He's very new to the show. Remember to subscribe, and we will let you know, and you won't miss anything. Also, a little bit of a thumbs up, and Suresh is coming all the way from India. Everyone's welcome. We are a family here, and you're part of the show. Let's move on then, and it's Leganes at plus 235, draw plus 225, and Valencia at plus 150, Paco. But the thing is, with Valencia, they get that win the other day, but can we trust them?
Yeah, I think that's the main issue. At the same time, Leganes, really depending on what happens in the next few hours, they might be out of the chance of being able to save themselves from relegation or not. But yeah, Leganes are the team in need in this sense. If they want to keep themselves alive for one more match day, they need the win. They definitely need that desperation, that sense of urgency in their game. Whereas Valencia, again, they are facing one of the bottom teams, and this season, traditionally, this has been bad news for the team. Valencia haven't been able to keep that consistency, string a couple of good results in a row. They were able to win against Valladolid, as I said earlier, but they didn't play well. They played actually pretty bad, especially in the second half. So if Valencia want to latch into that European race, they need the win. Leganes' survival depends on these 3 points. So desperation, plenty of desperation in both sides. Valencia are overall the better team. That's obvious.
Yeah, it is obvious. But with Valencia, we've followed them down dark alleys and we've been mugged, Martin.
Yeah, we have, which is a real shame because Valencia were one of my favourite teams in the previous two campaigns. They kept performing better than expected. They kept defying the odds and they kept winning. So made a lot of money out of Valencia. But yeah, this season's been a total write-off for them. I think they have improved since sacking Albert Celades. That seems like it was a reasonably good move for them. Could be back in the hunt for a Europa League place if they win this game. I don't think Leganes won't have as long to rest. They're playing tonight. This is a game that could relegate them. So we could see them roll up their sleeves and play like Espanyol did against Barcelona. But I still would fancy Valencia to get a result in this one. Again, yeah, like you, I'm not sure if we can trust them to win it, which is why I'll probably err on the side of caution yet again and go for draw no bet at 1.71.
1.71, Valencia. Draw no bet. Okay, listen, we've only got a few games to go, so those in the chat, make sure that you put your selections in because we need 2 selections from La Liga to go through to the 6-match parlay, and we are going to be starting that off again today, and then 2 more from the Premier League a little bit later on, and then 2 from Serie A tomorrow. So make sure you give me some sort of information, some sort of sway. Paco, Sevilla at minus 250, draw plus 425, Mallorca plus 800. I've penciled this game as one of those that we can put in and rely on, but how do we get the value?
Well, it's 2 teams right now in the opposite ends of the spectrum. Sevilla are very in form, Mallorca are in awful form. They are very, very close to relegation. I don't really know if at that point, whenever the game kicks off, they will already be a Segunda División team. And Sevilla have looked good at home after the break, after the 3-month hiatus. And they need to keep winning because the way to secure that Champions League place, the 4th place, is getting the points at home. That's the biggest issue for them. They have a deep squad. They have reliability. Their strikers are pretty on point. Their midfielder is working. Their defense is great. So, yeah, I see it as a very unbalanced game. The problem is something which has become some sort of tradition here. Every single video that we record and It's the teams are trying to keep their energy levels to a minimum and try to spend at the least level of energy in getting the best score possible. So possibly Sevilla might score once and then try to rely on their defensive progress. But I don't really see them scoring quite a lot of goals. Maybe that's the way to go here.
Yeah, I agree. I've wrote down Sevilla and under 3.5, Martin, but I know that you're captain cautious, so it could be Sevilla and under 4.5.
Yeah, I'm just checking what the odds on that are. I was looking at just Sevilla -1 Asian handicap at just 1.67. It's difficult to know, exactly like Paco said, copy and paste. It's hard to know how Sevilla will win this game. I do think they'll win it, but it could be a cautious 1-0 victory. Although we have seen teams blowing away Mallorca. Terrible on the road. They've been terrible on the road all season. Even since they've been playing in empty stadiums, it has had no impact. They just hate travelling off their island and always seem to play badly. So, yeah, I think that's going to be the thing that relegates them in the end. Interesting to see if they're already down by the time this game takes place.
Yeah, I think they'll win. I think they'll win at home prior to this game. So I think they'll still be scrapping.
Yeah, I mean, if they are, then they'll really put up a fight. But I still think Sevilla should just have too much quality for them in every department. So, yeah, my two options would be either Sevilla -1 Asian handicap at 1.67, or Sevilla and under 4.5 goals at 1.73. But yeah, just Sevilla 1.4. Banker, put your money on it. Mallorca are terrible on the road. Sevilla are very good at home. They need the win just as much as Mallorca do. They're a better team than them. I'll put plenty of money on that.
Yeah, I think this will be a really tight game, but I think Sevilla will win it. And I'm this close to going Sevilla and under 4.5 goals at 1.73. I like that, and I think that's a great parlay bet because Sevilla, they've got to retain a little bit. They've got to keep it for the end of the race. They can't go and blow out this team. They'll get themselves in front and they've got to sit back and make sure they get the points. A little bit like we've seen with Real Madrid recently. The 1-0. I can see this being a 1-0, maybe 2-0, 2-1, but no more than that. So I'm liking Sevilla and under 4.5 at 1.73. Paco, Alaves plus 325. The draw plus 200. Getafe -120. Getafe are another side that organised, don't score enough goals, and then they get blown away 3-1 at home.
Yeah, but you also have to look into the way the game against Villarreal went down. And we should also take into consideration what happened after the game with a big brawl on top of the pitch and a few Getafe crucial players being sent off with red cards. Let's see how the ban affects them. But we're talking about Damian Suarez, we're talking about Neom, like the wings, the starting wings for Getafe aren't going to be available in this game. At least, let's see if they are available in the two remaining games. And I think that is going to hurt their chances in the European race. Because remember, Getafe were one of the strongest teams before the break, but after, they haven't been able to live up to the standards. And they have lost incredible games. They have drawn incredible games that in other circumstances they would have won like very easily. So Alaves having struggled throughout the whole season. I'm not talking about winning games, just scoring, because Alaves are having plenty of trouble with that. So I don't see this game as a fun one to watch. Both teams have very good defenses, and overall there's a sense of danger over there because I don't have a clear prediction about this one.
When I look at these, and obviously my job used to be scouting, and I'm watching Getafe, Martin, I look at it and I say to myself, they're overcomplicating it. They work so hard. They're so together. They keep their shape. There's no freedom of movement. They actually don't run off the ball, and they make sure they stay in their holes. And for me, yes, they can contain sides, but going and getting the wins like they were earlier on in the season, they're not coming.
Yeah, I do feel a bit sorry for Getafe because they've been fantastic over the past couple of seasons. They looked on song before the break, but they've just imploded since the restart. I think we've said it before, haven't we? They've got an old squad, the oldest squad in La Liga. They haven't got a great deal of depth in their squad either. So playing regular football twice a week in this heat has really just caused them to fall apart. And yeah, it could be the start of their decline. I can't see them challenging for Champions League places again next season without significant investment in the side. So yeah, I think this game just looks like a horrendous one from a handicapping perspective, really. We know that Alaves are in dreadful form. I think they've conceded 12 goals in their past 5 games and only scored once. But then do you trust this aging Getafe side to get the job done? At plus 120, it's a very good set of odds. Before the break, you probably would have gone for it, but now I can't really justify it, so have to pass this one.
Yeah, I wouldn't put anyone off going Alaves double chance, to be honest, and I certainly wouldn't put anyone off going with the unders. Luffy, how's your back flash? It's great. It's only for the first couple of days. I went with the old butterfly thinking I was Michael Phelps, and I woke up, or on Sunday night, I was more like Michael Douglas. Okay. Let's go for Villarreal at plus 120, Paco, the draw plus 275, and Sociedad at plus 226. And Sociedad, they are the 6th leg of our parlay. Let's hope we get to that stage. What do you got for me, Paco?
Best game of round 36, hands down, in my view, because there are like 2 different dynamics working here. Before the break, Real Sociedad were, Champions League contenders, fair and square, playing brilliant football, very, very quality-wise, very attractive, plenty of goals. Alexander Isak working magic in front. And Villarreal weren't able to really manage to set off properly. But after football was back, Villarreal have been brilliant. They have been absolutely brilliant. 19 points out of 24. They have only lost once, another draw, and they've won the rest of the games. And they are probably, alongside Real Madrid, the most informed team of the whole competition. So let's see how these 2 sides clash together. I think Villarreal are favourite just because of the rolling that they've gone forward in the last couple of games, and just the level of confidence. Real Sociedad have lost that, and Villarreal won at this point, being able to win and beat a straight-up contender for European spots, I think would be great for them. So Villarreal are favourites. I expect goals, I expect quality football, and I expect overall to be a very, very nice 90 minutes for anyone who sits on front of the TV.
Paco, do both teams score?
Yeah, definitely. Because Villarreal have managed to keep a few clean sheets, but that's not their biggest quality. Their biggest quality is easiness to score, and you only have to ask Getafe yesterday about that.
Okay, before I go to Martin, Jack Pancake says over 2.5 goals. Is that just over 2.5 goals in the game, or is that both teams to score and over 2.5? Please, Jack. Martin, I've got both teams to score here. Just both teams to score. Do I see a third goal?
I put down both teams to score. It's only 1.67, but yeah, I think that looks like a good one for any sort of parlays that we're considering. These 2 teams aren't great at the back, but they're both very, very strong going forwards. As Paco just mentioned, Isak's been playing very well, keeping Willian Jose out of the side. But yeah, we all know how much firepower Villarreal have got. I wish Arsenal still had Santi Cazorla, because he's been on fire this season. 2 more assists last time out, and yeah, Alcácer and Moreno very, very dangerous in front of goal. I'm definitely leaning towards Villarreal in this game. They've surging with momentum right now. If they win this one, they'll move well clear of Real Sociedad, and they'll still be in the race for that outside for a Champions League spot, really. So, yeah, I fancy them to get the job done in this one, which is 2.36. Good set of odds. Definitely liking both teams to score at 1.67. I'm just trying to find the odds on Villarreal to win and both teams to score.
Wow. Don't be complicating it. Well, I mean, I think if you fancy Villarreal, you don't complicate it and go for 1.36. That's double the odds of 1.67 of both teams to score, Martin.
Yeah, it is. Just if you fancy a higher odds bet, which I know some people do, Villarreal to win and both teams to score is 4.33, which looks quite interesting as well.
I tell you what, Danny's come up with an absolute cracker here. Villarreal over 1.5 team goals at plus 100. Do Villarreal score twice, Paco?
Yeah, I see. Absolutely, they are capable of doing that. Definitely.
Yeah, I like that. Martin, do you like that?
Like it, yeah. As I say, I think they can get the job done in this one. It should be an open game. You never quite know. We've mentioned the energy levels of teams right now, which is why I probably won't go too crazy with my stakes this weekend. But everything points towards an overs game. Everything points towards an open, entertaining game. And the way Villarreal have been playing recently going forwards, you would expect them to put 2 goals past this Sociedad side.
No, you would. I mean, it looks like it's unbelievable. Even if it was like minus 110, you'd be interested. Now, the last game is Granada at plus 640, draw plus 360, and Madrid at minus 200. Paco, do we not complicate it? Do Madrid get another dull 1 or 2-0 victory?
I see this game as the most important one remaining in the whole competition for Real Madrid. If they win this game, they win the league, in my view, because Granada is by far the most complicated team they're going to face. They have always delivered whenever playing at home in Los Cármenes against big teams. They provided Barca with plenty of trouble. Back in the day when Granada visited Santiago Bernabéu, they provided Real Madrid with plenty of trouble. So even though Granada have finally fallen out of the European race, they are right now sitting on the 10th place. Remember that only a few weeks ago they seemed they could do it, and they were looking very, very good with now 47 points. So I think they're going to try to make a point in this one and stand their ground. Real Madrid are clear favorites, but if you guys want to know a risky bet on my behalf, we'll talk about that later. I leave Martin, who is the one who really knows, to talk about the odds in this one.
How risky is both teams to score, Martin?
I think it's pretty risky. I know that Real Madrid have got some injury problems at the back, haven't they? Which could allow Granada in, but they've just been so compact recently, so tight. They've been getting 1 goal ahead and really just protecting that lead. They haven't conceded, I think, in their last 3 games. So I would suggest that both teams to score is a bit risky. I'm just going to be staying on that Real Madrid and unders train. I was looking at Real Madrid and under 4.5 for tonight, but you have to go for Real Madrid and under 3.5 for tonight's game to get the value. You can get even money on that, which I like. And then, just Real Madrid and under 4.5 goals in this game is 1.78. I think there's enough value there for me. I know that this is a potential banana skin for Real Madrid, but It is, but everything I've seen from Real so far since the restart just suggests that they've got the bit between their teeth now. Zinedine Zidane's a good manager. He's rotating his squad. I think they'll have enough energy, enough drive, enough desire to get the job done in this one. Another low-scoring Real Madrid win for me.
I'm not so sure, Paco. I'm thinking this is like maybe a Granada double chance. I think there might be another twist. I don't see Real Madrid winning every game from now to the end of the season. So I would be quite happy to go both teams to score and just leave it at that, or Granada double chance.
Yeah, I was going to go for that one. I don't think Real Madrid is going to win this game. I know it's a bold statement to make, but at some point they must stumble, at least to give some spice to the championship race. And Granada have looked so good over the season that maybe making one last big statement because before the season ends would be very fitting for the overall year. So Granada win, Granada draw, whatever. Real Madrid not winning the game. I don't really know the odds on this one, but this would be my risky bet of the weekend, of the match day overall.
Yeah, I mean, Martin, obviously I'm going to do my little bit of housekeeping at the moment. Could you have a little look for, obviously, the Granada double chance and just the both teams to score prices? Why I say to people, listen, there's 60 of you watching, there's 30 thumbs up. Please put your thumbs up. And if you enjoy this video as much as we do, then please subscribe, press the button, ring the bell. If you ring the bell, then we can notify you for any content. It's like being in the family. We call you when it's time for your dinner and you come to us. We put the food on the table and then you can eat it. So please ring the bell, subscribe. Also, if you press the link in the description, that will take you over to our articles on our football pages or our soccer pages, and Martin and Dave and Alex, they've got everything covered for you. There's other writers on other sports as well, so please go and enjoy. Martin, have you got any prices for me on Granada double chance and both teams to score?
I have to say my computer's been a bit slow. I think it's getting excited by all this Skype action. I've got both teams to score 1.91.
Okay, that's a good start.
Let me just see if I can find double chance.
You go for the double chance. Paco, give me a little rundown of what you like and your favourite bet, please.
The banker of this match day, I think I was going to go with Martin's pick of Sevilla win, because I think we can rely on them. I think they are one of the more reliable, consistent team of of the whole competition. But in order to spice things up, possibly I would go to Levante Athletic Club over 2.5 goals. I think we're going to see Levante's games are always interesting, and seeing them with no pressure at all, seeing Athletic Club with not real pressure over them, looking for the European spot, but not really with that amount of drive and desire. I think they're going to be very, very relaxed, and relaxed teams mean that there are relaxed defenses. So over 2.5 goals in Levante against Athletic Club would be the banker in my case in round 36.
Okay then. Martin, what have you got for me on Granada double chance?
Best odds you can get right now, 2.85.
2.85, or just both teams to score at 1.91, or you'd lay Madrid at -200. Martin, please give me a little rundown, a parlay, and obviously your banker. Doesn't have to have a parlay. Looks a bit trappy for a parlay, to be honest.
It is a trappy round of fixtures, this, and it is difficult to find value. So, as I said, I'm not going too crazy on my stakes for this game week. But I do like Celta Vigo draw no bet against Osasuna at 1.87. Barcelona and under 4.5 goals, Valladolid at 1.68. Atletico Madrid to beat Real Betis and over 1.5 goals at 1.8. Probably looking at Eibar draw no bet in that Espanyol game. Just wait and see what happens tonight in their game. Leaning towards the draw at 3.36, Levante versus Athletic Bilbao. Only a small stake on that one. Definitely Valencia draw no bet against Leganes. I think they can actually go there and get the job done. Sevilla and under 4.5 goals at 1.73 against Mallorca. Villarreal to beat Real Sociedad at 2.36. Also like both teams to score at 1.67 in that game. And yeah, Real Madrid and under 4.5 goals, 1.78. I can't see Granada beating them. This is a team that couldn't beat Leganes. If they can't beat Leganes and they beat Real Madrid, that'll be amazing from them. But I'm sticking with Real Madrid on this winning streak. They made me a lot of money since the restart, and I'm not abandoning them now.
But you just want to give a little bit back. I know you're all charity, Martin. Listen, I just think it's a tricky old game, to be honest. But listen, I'm going to select the two results to go through for our 6-match parlay. So remember, you have to watch all 3 shows to get every leg, and it gives you the key to the door. And it's going to be Valencia draw no bet at 1.71. and Sevilla and under 4.5 goals at 1.73. There are two. I love that Villarreal team total plus 100. I love the Villarreal Sociedad Alex Classic. But again, if you watch this video back, you'll have plenty content. So listen, Paco from Liga Lowdown, keep up the great work, mate. As I said to Ewan, you're everyone's favourite. It used to be Ewan, but now you're at the top.
Yeah, well, we're trying to get everyone involved and interested in this so bizarre La Liga end, but I think that people are enjoying it quite a lot, and I think that's great news because football is something that we can all agree that we love.
Listen, really appreciate your work, Paco, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Martin, I'll see you for Premier League Punters in about an hour's time, and again, we will be live. So, Martin, Paco from Liga Lowdown, thank you very much. And you at home who have been joining us, listen, we are nothing without you. And someone says, oh, we think about doing an MLS show. What, on top of La Liga, Bundesliga, Serie A, and the Premier League, the MLS. Maybe when it gets to the business end, we might have a little look. Until then, we'll just leave them to get on with their jobs. Thanks to everyone. You take care, and we'll see you again with Premier League Punters in about 45 minutes.